biggest takeaway of the spring practice compared to the other stops you've been at before?
I would just say the intensity day in and day out. Our intensity is the same each and every day. Our coaches don't let up no matter if it's day 1 or day like 8 right now. We had 2 scrimmages, and our intensity is still the same as it was day 1.
What's your impression of Coach Buchis, Coach Haggins? What's your impression of the coaching staff on the defense overall?
I like it a lot there. You tell them what you want, like transferring when you had your visit. I told them what I wanted to be, and they push me there every day. Coach Haggins is on me 24/7. Coach JP is on me. They constantly call me outside of this. That's something I appreciate a lot. Coach Fuller and Coach McDougald, they constantly check in with me. So I think it's just, you tell them what you want to be as a player, and you tell them your goals, and they're gonna stay on you 24/7 to make sure you accomplish what you say you want to do.
I'm sure learning a new defense is hard enough, but you're kind of, I know Coach Fuller said you're splitting time inside and outside. I guess, what are the challenges of, learning 2 new positions at once?
It's definitely a big challenge just because a 3-4 and a 4-3 are played totally different. In a 3-4, you're more reacting than attacking. In a 4-3, you're definitely attacking. So it's all football. It's all the same things. You're getting the same type of blocks, but it's a little bit challenging. I would say it's more challenging in the classroom, learning D and the D tackle more so than on the field. I think on the field it comes pretty easy because it's all the same stuff. You just need to know your alignment and your assignment.
You talk about like the 3-4, 4-3. West Virginia played in the 3-4 last year. So how do you think, what do you think that added to your game? What did you have to learn playing in that type of scheme that kind of translates over to other schemes?
From an inside standpoint, it's not as much of a challenge as I thought it might have been. Just because in the 3-4, you're between the tackles and the guards, so you're going against big bodies. So going from a 4-eye to a 2-eye, it's not much of a difference. I would say your pad level just has to be lower because centers and guards aren't as tall as tackles. But it's all the same thing. It's not really a challenge. It's just fixing the technique. And once I fix my technique, I know I'll be, unstoppable.
It seems like the coaching staff trusted you a good bit, throwing that all on you right when you got here. I guess, what's it mean for them to show you that kind of level of respect?
It means a lot just because I'm the only guy really in our room handling both D and D tackle. So it means a lot just to, that it's my 3rd year in college and I'm at a new stop and they trust me to be able to play both and learn both. It's not really, I enjoy it just because it gives me a chance to show off my versatility. I don't feel like going inside or outside I'm losing something. I feel like it's a game. I feel like I can play both pretty well.
It's a very talented defensive line on the interior and on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you take away from what you guys have done as a unit through the first 9 practices?
I'll say as a unit, we just keep feeding off each other. When you look in our room, for me, when I look around, I can see a bunch of guys who got the same aspirations as myself. I see a bunch of guys who's not complacent. Pat was all ACC, Josh was all ACC. Those guys don't get complacent. Darryl played well at Miami. Marvin and Nusi both played good at their last schools. And then our rest of the room, like Dante and Aaron, the whole room, nobody's complacent. Everybody's trying to improve. We all want to compete for the reps. We all want to be that guy, but it's a healthy competition.
How impressed are you with the speed of the defensive ends? You, Pat, Marvin all seem pretty fast for your size.
Everybody has their own skill set, I'll say here. It's not really, it's not too many guys that are the same. Like, Darryl 6'6", Josh 6'3", Marvin and Pat, they're about the same height and weight, but their body types are different. I'm obviously, different, being at 270 playing inside and outside. Lewis and Daniel, everybody's a different player. You're not putting 2 guys here and it's what can he do better than the other? I think that's the best thing about our defensive line.
I know Braden's been around a lot during the draft process, and I know is a guy that moved around a lot too.
Yeah.
I guess, have he talked to you at all about that and embracing that?
I talked to Fish a little bit. I DM'd him before I committed just to see how he felt about Florida State, and he told me it was the best decision he could have made. I think for me, it's when you look at, like I said, back to coming here, when you look at the edge rushers like Jermaine and Verse, those guys are different players, but they're both first rounders in their own way. So that's why coming here, it was never I got to be exactly like this guy, or I'm not 6'6", 250. I don't have to be like that. Everybody was their own players. And Coach Odell and JP, I'm big into looking at the history of a player, and they both had guys that looked like me or were built similar to me, and they developed guys that were my skill set. So it was an easy decision.